Hi, it's Carol from Crinkled Path Journals, and I'm back with the Paper Bag Junk Journal Prompt Challenge 2025, hosted by Cara Mia at PaperConfessionswithCaraMia and Bianca at BB's Closet Creations. Welcome back. I'm happy to honor our hosts, and we have several collaborators jumping on board. Those that were originally invited and others who have jumped on board, which is absolutely fabulous. And I'll have them linked in the description box below. I kind of dutifully went in order of the first 7 prompts, and then actually, other than the layering in my masterboard, I didn't include another layering, so I need to do that. That would be prompt number 7 technically, but I'm going to skip around in the prompts now because I need some designated space for some of the bigger things we need to do. What I'd like to do is, and I grabbed this packaging from a speech thing, and I want to add another pocket, so that's just there to remind me to do that. So I want to leave space for the waterfall and also for stenciling. So I kind of like that this is see-through, so I was thinking maybe I would do some stenciling back here and on here, and then I'm going to do my waterfall cards on the back of this one, where it has the dog food ingredients. And then I'll see what other things suit my fancy to do this time around, but I definitely want to put some of the things that take up more space on certain pages before I run out of big blank pages. So I hope you'll come along and join me today and see what I accomplish. A flip through to show you what I worked on this week, but I thought this might be one thing that you might like to see my version of. I'm sure other people will do waterfall card tutorials during this collaboration because it's one of the prompts, but I thought I'd show you my version. I use a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I cut it into 3 strips that are 2.5 inches wide. And then I take 2 of the strips and I cut 2.5 by 2.5 squares. And then I'm going to take one out because it's a little too much to have 8. So I'm going to do 7. And then you're left with this little strip after you cut those 3 columns. I'm going to take my cards off for now, and you can do these, out of different colors and things, but I just kept it all monochromatic because I'm going with my very limited color palette in this journal of red, white, and blue. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to score it first at 2.5. And then I'm going to score it 6 more times, if I'm doing this correctly, at 3/8. So there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, oops, sliding out of the groove there. 1, 2, 3, which it's okay, that's going to get covered so you won't see it. 1, 2, 3. I lost my one that came with this, and my bone folder is a little fatter than the grooves, and so that's why it falls out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need one more. 7. Okay. And then we're going to flip it, and we're going to make hills out of all of those. And then the last one, we're going to fold it all the way. And then we're going to fold it back the other way just to make sure that those folds are really flexible, because they're going to have to be able to move when we pull our tab. Okay. I'd love that to be a little straighter. I'm talking about the edges lining up. My hands are all gluey, and you can glue this, but for this narrow strip, and because I don't want the glue to ooze over from line to line, I use score tape, which is just a double-sided tape. So I'm going to go right at the top of the square here, and I'm going to put a piece there. And then I'm going to put a piece on each of the other lines between my folds. You don't have score tape, just glue it, but keep your glue to a small line. All right, now we can put our squares on. Easier to take the tape paper off if you have a pokey tool. I have my beautiful pokey tool that Angela the Traveling Crafter made me. And I'm just kind of poking at that paper to take it off. And then we'll start putting some of these on. So we have first one here. And then just try and line them up along the fold straight as you can. Oh, got that one crooked. So my score tape is a little bit old, and so it's a little more forgiving. If you have brand new, you might not be able to pull it up like that. If you wanted to do more than 7, you probably could do that 8th one, but I like to leave enough space here at the bottom so you would be folding this more, and you want the bottom when you fold it back to actually stick out like this so that you have something to grab. And then with your piece that was left over, you're gonna measure the width of this, and you're gonna fold it over, and then just need a little bit of it to be over, so I'm just folding it back to measure. So fold it on the end. I want it nice and straight and a crisp fold. Okay, and then folding it back. All right, I'm just going to cut off the excess. We're going to glue this, just these 2 little flaps, nothing on the back. And those are going to be our anchor points for the very bottom large square that we have on here. And you want to put it under all of the little squares that you cut. Just fold it. Sorry, I know this is hard to see. Okay, so I'll show you up close. It's taped on this bottom piece. Just here at the top is where my glue is, and then this part under here is not glued. You're going to slide that through. Now, the back of this is what I'm going to glue into my journal. I had a sticky note. Where'd it go? There it is. So this is where it's going to go. Right here on this dog food page. And I'm going to go ahead and find my center point of my 2.5 inches. That would be at 1 1/4. Just going to mark it. And then I'm going to cut across that and up to this corner. Okay, now we can glue this down. Trying to use up this tacky glue. And this is not going to show, so I'm going to use it up. And now the test. Mine are a little stiff. Oh, that's the last one. Okay, and then you can go ahead and decorate these. Which I will have to do in the next video. So let me show you what else I got done this week. I did finish embellishing and backing my journaling card. I fixed the pocket that was broken. Put some wallpaper on it. I created this large journaling tag. And I did some collage with this little troll, and I put some skates on him. I made this pocket out of this speech food picture box. This page is still blank. I decorated this for a journaling card. This journaling card. And you can already see I have definitely checked off the whimsical on the list because everything is very random and whimsical. I glued this bag in and made it a triple pocket. I don't have anything in it yet, but 1, 2, 3, and it was a long sub bag. And I just folded it up in half and glued it and left the gussets for room to fill. I put this little tab that I had purchased from Woodland Inspired Celeste. This is my hidden journaling spot. I added wallpaper, that 1940s trims wallpaper here. One of the few places that I am going ahead and adding a little bit of green in. I added a journaling card here that I stuck this Superman on, made him look like he's going through the zero. My texture paste dried very nicely. I made 2 shabby chic little clips to put on the top of the page. So I'm going to actually glue this one here. See, I'm going to use my my art glitter glue for that one. Just slather it on there. Stick this one up at the top of this page. Just have that little knot sticking off the top of the page. And then, oops, I'm gonna have to clip it till it dries. Let's see. All right, and then I did some layering with washi tape. Oops, I need a little more glue on that one. I had pulled my washi tape out for the Bible journaling reset that we did last month. And so my washi tape is sitting out and I'm inspired to use it again. So I just did a little collage of washi tapes on there, just kind of random, and made that journaling card. I just backed this card with some braille and tucked it in this pocket, and I'm just trying to stick enough things in this belly band that they won't fall out. And speaking of the Bible journaling, if you are watching this on Sunday morning, the 14th, we are having another Bible journaling reset today at noon Pacific time, 2 p.m. Central. So come join us. And this page, I included this. I don't know that this is necessarily on the list, but I had one of these hand-sewn little Kleenex holders, and I thought it would be a fun place to do an up-tuck with the wallpaper and just put some playing cards in. And I just tuck those right in there. And maybe you want to keep some tissues in your journal too. I know sometimes journaling can be emotional, but this one is all about the fun. I did stenciling here, stenciling inside, so you kind of get a double layer effect in that you see what's behind and on top. And I did the one on top just a little fainter than the one underneath. And then it's also a tuck spot if I want to use it. Here's my waterfall. I don't know. I think I need to use stiffer cardstock. This cardstock is pretty lightweight, so it wants to just bend. And then this is a letter that I wrote to myself. I used this little cute card of this little mousie holding a baby. I'm just going to say it's a little Nana holding a mousie baby. And I wrote a little letter to myself and tucked it in here. That was one of the prompts. And then one more tag or journaling card that was embellished, and I had braille paper on the back. And then this is what I used to fix this pocket. In total, I have now finished all 7 of the first prompts because I got some layering going on those tags. I did collage on the journaling cards. I made a tag. I did a secret journaling spot. I used my stencil. I did the shabby chic lips. I crossed off whimsical, and I wrote the letter to myself. So now I have done 14 prompts. I hope you're enjoying this series and will try out some of these prompts for yourself. It's been really fun, and thanks again to Cara and Bianca for bringing us all together to do this. I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully you can join us this afternoon. So just a little PS, I did end up adding a second piece of paper to each of the squares to make them stiffer, and now it's working. So it was because my paper was too thin. I just had to come back on and tell you that. Thanks everyone. Bye.